You are welcome to another episode on Sought Out TV.
There are four major periods in philosophy, namely, ancient, medieval, modern and contemporary period. The ancient period of philosophy spans from the first moment of human consciousness through the ancient Egyptian schools of philosophy to the Middle Age. The ancient period is divided into two, the pre-Socratic and the Socratic period. The pre-Socratic philosophers were concerned with cosmology and metaphysics. They raised questions concerning the origin of the universe and of things that they experienced. They also asked questions about the nature of things. Such questions as what is the primary substance of all things? Most of their answers were religions and materialistic. The major philosophers of this period include Thales, Anaximander, Anaximandres, Pythagoras, Xenophanes, Heraclitus and so. The Socratic period, also known as the Classic period, begins with Socrates and spans to St. Augustine. The period is called classic because it featured poetic and artful presentation of philosophical ideas. It was during this period that philosophical documentation was heightened. While the cosmological and the metaphysical issues were still discussed, greater emphasis was given to epistemology and moral issues. The question of how human beings should live and act was a subject of major concern. The major philosophers of this period include Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Zeno, Plotinus and so on. The medieval period is said to have metamorphosed from the Dark Ages. The Dark Age is the period between the official ending of the Classic period and the formal beginning of the medieval period. The Dark Age is the period when schools and centers of learning and books were destroyed as a result of wars and religious conflicts. It was also the period St. Augustine rejuvenated the ancient learning centers such as Alexandria and Carthage because there was relative peace in Africa. It is difficult to pinpoint the exact date when the Dark Ages ended and when the medieval period began. The distinguishing characteristic of the medieval period is belief in divine revelation. A philosophical attitude that the medieval philosophers inherited from St. Augustine. The Church flourished during this period as it gained its authority through various ways including violence. The Church authority was the sole source of knowledge during this period. The main subjects of concern were God's existence, the problem of faith and reason, and the divine attributes. Among the medieval philosophers were John Duns Scotus, St. Anselm, Thomas Aquinas, Moses Maimonides, William of Ockham, and so on. Modern period. The modern period is characterized by the diminishing authority of the Church and the increasing authority of science. The eruption of science was the publication of the Copernican theory in 1543. It marked the beginning of scientific revolution. Copernicus, a Polish clergyman, physician and astronomer, on account of his observation of the movement of the planetary bodies, speculated that since the circular motion of the planetary bodies are natural and not a violent one, it would be participated in by all the planetary objects. The Earth being one of these planetary bodies, must be in motion. This theory did not become influential until it was taken up and improved by Kepler and Galileo in the 16th century. The following could be noted as the general characteristics of the modern period. An individualistic and subjective approach in the search for knowledge. Utility or relevance became the yardstick for value of any knowledge. Man and not God became the source of knowledge. Reason and not religion became the means to knowledge. Scientific experiment was upheld as the source of truth. Among the philosophers of this period include Copernicus, Galileo, René Descartes, Spinoza, Isaac Newton, Immanuel Kant, and so on. Contemporary period. The period often regarded as the contemporary period spans from the later part of the 18th century to the present day. In the contemporary scene, particularly in the first half and the middle of the 20th century, the major emphasis was on the question of meaning and methodology, as well as a critical evaluation of the ideas of the thinker of the previous periods. This has led to the development of new systems like Marxism, positivism, British analytic philosophy, pragmatism, existentialism, phenomenology, philosophical pluralism and so on.
Please click the subscribe button for more.